All right, guys. I just wanted to talk about last week. We had some technical difficulties.
Ourselves.
Solomon, yeah. What happened last week? We had some problems.
The sound on my end was terrible. Your glitching Matrix thing, I don't know. It was just we had a good time doing it because we're cracking up laughing. But if you're watching it, it's gonna be a rough watch in my personal opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's a blooper for sure.
It's a blooper, yeah.
It's definitely worth a watch, though.
Yeah, because we're definitely having a good time. We're laughing and everything. So
Yeah, I mean, if you like to watch birds run into sliding glass doors,
yeah,
this is right up your alley.
yeah, pretty much. So there you go. All right,
Yeah, I think that's all we should say.
all right. So enjoy, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Light at Night podcast. I am your host, Ed Ferris. I am no relation to the Ferris wheel family or Ferris wheels or whatever they are, because if I was, I would not be on this podcast. I can assure you of that.
We have broken Ed's brain.
I mean, this has been a disaster tonight. Anyway,
I love it.
on the second mic, oh, I'm your host, by the way. I think I said that. We're gonna roll with this, okay?
Yes. Oh, we're rolling with it. We're going.
And on the second mic, we have the girl who has the only girl that I.
Oh God, here he goes.
On vacation. And on the third mic, we have the man who has totally wrecked this podcast tonight, and will probably assess Candice.
We didn't understand a word of that because you're lagging. But go ahead, Candy.
Hopefully better than my internet service.
Okay. So
Oh yeah, we did laughing gas before we started the podcast.
oh, my stomach hurts. So, my week's been great. So far, my Saturday evening's been wonderful. So, Saul, how are you?
You know, it's been great. It's just been funny. This getting this podcast going there has been that's been a chore this evening. Ed, how are you doing?
Oh, you know what? My week has just been wonderful. I had nice stories to tell, but you know what? I can't even think straight right now. So no stories this week. I'm just ready for the podcast.
I understand. So this week we're talking about our favorite movies that we need sequels to, I guess. All right?
Yes.
So, let me see here. My first movie. So, the problem I had with this, there's a lot of movies that I'm like, it would be really good to have a sequel for that. And then I thought about it, and then I was like, no, you know what? I don't think it would make a good sequel because they did a pretty good job of closing it out. So, I don't know if I want to see, another one of that. So,
yeah.
The Lincoln Lawyer. It's a great movie. You guys ever seen it? You should see it.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah.
I have not.
I cannot stand Matthew McConaughey, so I'm really surprised that I like this movie. But yeah, he did a really good job with it. Yeah. So that's my movie right there. So you have seen it, Ed?
What's that?
So you have seen the Lincoln Lawyer?
I have. It's been a long time, but it was a good movie. One of his better movies.
I mean, I think a sequel would be pretty easy. All you have to do is do another crime case.
How did that end with it was a murder case and
yeah, Ryan Felipe, or I forget his last name. The guy who played in Cruel Intentions. I think this is the last movie he's ever been in. He was a bad guy.
Okay.
And he killed his mom or whatever, and then.
Well, let's not spoil it for everybody, but okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I think it'd be a good sequel. Mm-hmm. And then let's see here, my next movie, another Matthew McConaughey movie, Sahara.
You don't. You said you don't like him, but you've got two of the movies that you want to see the
I
sequel. Okay.
what can I say? I mean, I kind of, I don't know. I think Sahara was a pretty good movie. People hated it. I think it bombed at the box office. I don't know. It's like a different take of Indiana Jones. So I don't know. I kind of liked it.
You know, it was on Netflix for a long time, and I kept on seeing it. You know, yeah. I mean, my first impression of Matthew McConaughey was Dazed and Confused when I was like a teenager, I think.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, so it was very hard to get out of that mindset.
Yeah.
But he's decent, but he's not one of my favorites.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought he did a pretty good job with it. And then my last movie, Big Trouble in Little China. I love that movie. I've heard interviews with Kurt Russell saying that, God no, we would never do another sequel to that because it was supposed to just be a one-off type thing. But I don't know. I think you could do a lot more goofiness with it. Not now because Kurt Russell's old, but back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was like mid '80s when that movie came out, right?
It had to been. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Those are my movies. Well, I also had Highlander. I can't find it now. But now I know what you're going to say. Highlander has like 20,000 sequels. The problem is Highlander it's a great idea, but the sequels are just garbage. So, I mean, I think they need to make just a decent Highlander movie, and then do sequels to it because I always like the time traveling, but people immortals going through time, cutting each other's heads off and getting their powers.
Okay.
So, have you never seen Highlander?
No.
You've never seen Highlander?
No.
Oh my god.
Well, no.
Candice, have you seen Highlander?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you. It's a good storyline, and it's got some cool aspects. But and the dude lives down the street from me. Actually, he gets out there and practices with his shirt off. He's got the hair going, everything. So if you need anybody, if you want to produce one yourself, pretty sure I could go get him. He lives with his mom, and he's like 45.
So anyway, those are my movies. So I guess we're going to Kansas now because Ed wants to be last. So let's see here. We got Roger Rabbit. Now I haven't seen this movie in like I don't know 90s.
Yeah, I think it was the 80s that it came. I mean, I was I think 4 or 5 in the picture that you have there with me and Roger Rabbit. So
Sure. I mean,
yeah.
What do you think they could do with a sequel with that?
So many things. I mean, there's cartoon characters in it, so they live forever unless the weird creepy guy gets them and puts them in the dissolving liquid, which was evil and horrible. I'm still devastated over the poor little shoe that got it.
That was Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Let's get the character. Let's get the actor's name down right.
I don't know his name. I just know he was a weird creepy guy, and I don't like him.
I was gonna say Leonard McCoy, but what was his name? The guy from Back to the Future, Doc.
Yeah, I don't know what his real name is.
Christopher Lloyd, that's his name.
Christopher Lloyd, yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So let's see what the next one is here. Goonies. Now, this is another movie I've only seen once.
It was great. It had action, adventure, the weird creepy guy in it. Like, I'm not sure if he was a mutant or exactly what was going on, but he was scary.
Sloth. Yeah, Sloth.
Yeah, there was treasure hunting. There was just great things going on. Yeah, Sloth.
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe we could do like a...
So what's the plot with it? Are they trying to find treasure?
I don't remember, to be honest. I just remember it being really cool. I really don't. But I think that's what it was a treasure ship or something like that.
Well, you really got me sold on this sequel.
You know what I want to see in the sequel? I want to see something like, I don't know, just whatever. Just throw it together. That's great.
Oh, good grief.
That old lady from Throw Mama from a Train?
Yes, she was scary.
Yeah, she was great back in the 80s.
Hopefully,
So,
there's not another one of her that they would be putting in the sequel. If there's more than one of her out there, I'm definitely concerned.
uh, so you got the Iron Giant here.
Yes, that was great.
Didn't
He
Vin
was. He would have
Diesel?
been like, no, the
Didn't
Iron Giant was a cartoon.
Yes, I know the Iron Giant's a cartoon, but I thought I thought Vin Diesel was the voice of the Iron Giant.
I don't know. You're asking too much of me now. You're asking a couple of these complicated questions. I just know that I
Well,
watched it a million times with Shane. It was great. It was sweet. They,
these
he was a really good friend, the robot.
these are your movies. I thought you would know a little bit about them.
I didn't know I was going to need to know all these details for them. I mean, that's a little
Now,
too much for me.
remember in our meeting, she said that we should be doing research on the stuff that we're talking about.
Well, that was before I had a whole lot going on. I didn't know we
Okay.
were going to get specific. I was going to give you reasons why we should have sequels.
So
So
what?
the Iron,
So now I hate to do this because you didn't know the plot for Goonies, but so what's the plot of this thing?
the little boy was lonely and he built a robot. He didn't have any friends, and Iron Giant became his friend. He was a really good friend.
Now how
So I
would
think like, we could, huh?
now how would you do a sequel to that?
Because the Iron Giant still lives and he opens like a boys and girls club and all the little lonely kids come and he would make a great best friend. I think it would be a heartfelt,
Okay.
feel good story.
All right.
And then artificial intelligence takes over and he just wipes everybody out.
And then we
Sounds
have a
good.
whole
Great.
other movie.
No, he was nice. He was nice. No, we can't turn my heartfelt movie into a tragedy.
We can't turn into Terminator.
No.
So Edward Scissorhands. Now I've only seen half of this movie because it looks stupid. I never got into it.
Oh. Yeah, really, I just put Edward Scissorhands on there because I like the actual movie, and
Yeah.
I just want to see Edward Scissorhands drink a mega pint.
See, all that I remember from this movie is him trimming the hedges into like animals and stuff.
Yeah, and he cut the dog's hair and the weird, creepy ladies in the neighborhood,
I
and
thought you were going to say,
yeah.
cut the dog's head off or something. I'm like, what?
You guys keep killing my movies. You keep turning them into horror films, and I don't know what. I'm concerned. I think we should move on.
So what would the sequel to be? Sequel be to this?
Everything just locked up. What happened?
Oh
Where's everybody
no.
at? I'm still here.
We're in the
I want to hear
matrix.
about your movies, guys.
Ed's
Hello?
yeah,
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you, buddy. Are you back?
Okay. All right.
Ed's I don't know. I guess he's doing this this podcast in Hawaii or something.
Found myself obsessively rubbing my face tonight. I think I have the same allergic reaction as you.
Yeah. All
I
right.
think
So,
it's these movies.
all right. So now we're on Ed's movies here. So we got Sin of
All
a
right.
Woman. I've never
Son
seen
of
this
a
movie.
Woman.
Yes.
Okay, this is a great movie. I know a lot of people don't like it just based on the title. It's about a blind man who is being taken care of by Chris O'Donnell. The blind man is played by Al Pacino. He lost. Well, I won't tell you the whole thing, but I mean he lost his eyesight doing something stupid, and he was passed over in the military. It's a really good movie, but for my sequel, I was thinking of like sequels in like 2023,
Okay.
and so I thought you could have Chris O'Donnell, who is now playing kind of the part of Al Pacino, and he's blind now because he poked both of his eyes out because he's seen the last 3 movies that Al Pacino did, and he couldn't take it anymore.
Yes. So it's like a weird circle of life in your sequel then.
Yeah. So now, and then Al Pacino, because he has more money than Chris O'Donnell, he's able to get his eyesight back, and so he's helping him.
Is
in
Al
this,
Pacino still alive?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said,
I mean, come on.
the last movie I saw Al Pacino in was Heat with Val Kilmer. So,
Yeah.
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 All right, so the
All
next
right.
movie, Smokey and the Bandit. Now, I told you there was 2 sequels to this.
Okay, so in fairness, I had that morning I had actually watched the Smokey and the Bandit because I wanted to do a little bit of research for the podcast.
Yes.
I don't want to point out anything here, but I saw it on Netflix and I wanted to watch it.
Yes.
So I watched it and I remember at the end they were going to make a run to I think like Boston for some clam chowder, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a horrible sequel.
Yes.
I hope they never did that. And then I text you with the movie list, and you were like, I think they made a second one. In fact, I think they made a third one. I was
Yes.
like, oh boy.
Well,
And then you sent me the picture of Jerry Reed dressed up like the Bandit.
Well, and like you and me were talking, we're like, this would be a spooky ass sequel because you could have the rise of the Iceman or Snowman, or what was his name? Snowman.
Yeah, Snowman.
So,
Yeah.
because Snowman is dressed like the Bandit. So did he kill?
Right.
Did he kill the Bandit? And like,
I don't know. We've got to get together and watch these movies. This is yeah.
So it could be a horror film, The Rise of the Snowman Killer.
Over clam chowder.
I'm so lost.
Oh.
Okay, Smokey and the Bandit is with Burt Reynolds and Sally
Yeah.
Field.
I've seen the first one. I didn't know that they went out on a limb and did all that. So okay.
I don't think most people really know that there was a third one. I probably know about a second one, but yeah.
I'm now the younger listeners probably won't know this. I think that was strictly right to video. It probably wasn't in theaters.
Right on VHS.
Yes.
Well, what you could do for the sequel is you could have Sally Field. Now if Burt Reynolds was still alive, you could have him, and then you could have Forrest Gump as their son.
Oh wow. What happened?
But yeah.
So did Burt Reynolds die?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been dead. I think he's been dead for like 10 years or something.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, well, never mind.
I can't. You know what? I'm going to write down research our subjects.
All right. So the next movie is Good Will Hunting. Now I have seen this movie.
Oh man.
Okay, you froze up again. What is going on? Am I even okay?
No, you froze up. Your internet is crazy this evening.
I really need to talk to somebody about this. Okay, so Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting is about Will is a troubled child. He's a troubled young man. I think he's 26 in this movie. He gets into a lot of trouble, and I believe it's court ordered. He has to see a therapist, and the therapist is played by Robin Williams. You find out that he's had quite the past, and he's a genius.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. So I was trying to think, okay, what could you do for a sequel that would just be funny? And I thought, well, you could have, because Will was always like beating people up throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that he becomes a therapist, and the way that he treats people is he takes them in there, they start talking to him, and he goes, okay, hold on, let's just take this outside. And then him and Ben Affleck just go out and just wail on the guy. And then they bring him back in, they go, so let's talk about your problems. And they're like, we don't have a problem other than, the broken bones and, the fractured orbital bone. And so, yeah.
That sounds like a terrible movie.
Okay. Well, that's why. Well, they always make fun of Matt Damon because I think he created the character of Will Hunting, and they're like, he made him a genius, and he's beating people up, and
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, because I thought Ben Affleck and Matt Damon actually made this movie. Both, yeah, actually wrote it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie.
So then we got Ferris
How you like
Bueller.
those apples?
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller.
Great movie. Great movie.
As a kid, people called me Ferris Bueller, which I never understood. That's not really making fun of me. I mean, Ferris Bueller was kind of cool. He skipped school. So I was trying to think of what could you do? You could have like, let's see, who was Ferris Bueller played by? I can't think of his name.
Matthew Broderick.
Yes, you could have him, and he's a father now, and now his kid is in school.
Yes.
I didn't really have any creative ideas for this one because I mean Ferris Bueller was a pretty good movie.
Well,
but back in the day,
I think you would just do like
what?
you said. His son now is basically him, so it'd just be his son doing all the crap he did, but in 2023, you know.
Yeah, he could like lead a revolt over like the last 3 years. You know.
Yes.
He'd be like an anti-masker. Yeah.
Yes. Alt right. just yeah. All right. So
and his friend Cameron. You know what? Just go on to the next subject. That's fine.
Well, no, go ahead.
I've been pushing around on this podcast tonight.
Go ahead. Cameron, yeah. Well, what about him? Last time I saw
Well,
that guy, he was in Star Trek.
Oh yeah. I just remember Cameron being really like neurotic, and he was really scared to take the car out, and yeah. But I could just see him laughing at Ferris for having a kid that's an idiot. But anyway, okay.
Are you done talking about Ferris Bueller?
I am done. I'm never going to talk about Ferris Bueller after this.
All right.
What a stupid movie.
So now we got Patch Adams. I've never seen this. Well, I have seen this movie. Like 15 minutes of not turned it off.
Oh.
Okay. So you think that what are your thoughts on Patch Adams? From the 15 minutes that you
it's just sad. Isn't like everybody dying in the movie?
What? You watch 15 minutes, of course it starts out sad. You realize that Patch Adams, he's an actual person. He's a real person in real life.
Yeah, did he
Patch
die?
Adams... No, he's still alive. Robin Williams died.
No, I know that. Right? No, I thought like the doctor was dying of cancer or whatever.
No.
What?
That's what I watch when you watch 15 minutes of a movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't really make fun of this movie because it's probably I would say it's one of my top 3 movies if not. I mean Rocky 3 and 4 are probably up there too.
Yeah.
So I can't really make fun of it, but what I think I would have liked to have seen is so they stopped the movie when he's still pretty. I mean he's probably in his 40s at that point, and he goes through this hearing and. They basically tell him, you can't do this, whatever. I would have liked to have seen from then to the present and just see like what he's done since then because I'm too lazy to go Google it.
Well, so I mean, like,
kind of like.
No, go ahead, Candy.
I was just gonna say too lazy, kind of like we were with our research.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're together on this podcast. This is how you build team chemistry here.
So how many? Okay, just tell me this: how many people die in the movie?
I don't know. I didn't do a head count. 52 and a half.
It down, okay?
Okay. Right. Well, anyway, so yeah.
I mean, yes, there are a lot of people dying because he works in the medical profession.
No, it's terrible.
But it's a good movie because he wants to be a doctor. Like, there's one scene where he's standing there, and there's a whole there's a bunch of doctors standing around this woman, and she's on the gurney, and they're diagnosing her, and they refer to her as the patient, and he raises his hand, and he's like, "What's her name?" And that's the whole Patch Adams thing. Like he actually cares about people. It's not just we're just treating this inanimate object. So it's a very cool movie.
Okay. All right. So last movie here, Weird Science.
All right.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Oh, Weird Science. Oh boy. Well, I will not go into detail about Weird Science, but I will tell you that anybody over 40 knows who Kelly LeBrock is. Okay. And I don't remember, and I wasn't going to go back and watch it. I don't remember all of it, but it was like a strange experiment, and they ended up creating this beautiful woman. And if you've ever listened to Kelly LeBrock talk, it's unbelievable, especially, when you're seeing this as a teenager, you're like, oh my gosh. It was a good movie back then. It's probably a stupid movie now.
Yeah.
So with the sequel, what I would do is I would just do something called like Weirder Science, and it would just be over. It would be about the last 3 years, and you could have like a cameo appearance from a certain doctor that looks like a garden gnome.
Yeah.
I won't mention his name because I'm not going to give him any credit.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, it'd just be Weirder Science because that's what we're living in, Weirder Science.
Yeah, because aren't they like trying to make a perfect woman or something like that?
Yes.
Yes. I can tell by Candice's tone that she's not approving of this movie.
It was stupid. It was some young guys that couldn't get a girlfriend, so they're like, hey, we're gonna create something we are never gonna achieve in real life. This will never happen for us.
Yeah, imagine watching this as a teenager. I'm like, my life is over.
Right, you were like, you had hopes and dreams. If these guys can do it, and you're like opening your closet door, like, ta-da! No, she's not there.
She's not there.
Nice try, Ed. Nice try.
I mean, honestly, my perfect woman is just somebody who, like a woman who can actually
watch it. If your wife's watching this,
yeah, you should have just said your wife's name, and it would have been done.
No, this is great. No, this is great. She told me tonight she's never watched the podcast, so that's great. My perfect woman is a woman who can actually park within those 2 white lines in the parking lot. That's the perfect woman.
There you go.
Few and far between.
So my wife is giving me the wrap-up sign, so I gotta wrap this up because I don't think we've really, we didn't really do our research in this podcast, but yeah.
Stay tuned for next week to see if we can get any worse.
Well, the good thing is, who knows if people are even watching till
okay. I'm lagging again.
It's over. It's cut.
Well, thank you for listening to the One on Podcast.